Hi guys, welcome back in the D44. I'm just about to show you the Hazel Cat and the Fiddle. I've not gone through all the big rides I've got yet on the back, but I just want to start this one first because I've just got the tools out ready. I was just about to put a timer in. So basically, with this, it's running on its original tech, made by Leisure Tech, also MKC Design. Well, was MKC Designs, Mike Chester. Basically, I want to show you the back of this. It's quite interesting. This is a 1991 ride. Rather than use things like Staymar timers and stuff like that, this guy actually made his own from scratch, using different electrical bits and bobs. So as you can see, this is what's in the back of this ride. Obviously, all the mechanics down there. It's all run off a 230 volt motor, single phase motor, and it runs a cog. It's a V-belt cam that runs the first wheel with a chain on, that goes to the second wheel, that goes to the third wheel, that goes to the fourth wheel, then turns the actual thing around. Obviously, it's not in great condition. It's 30 years old, 1991, 29 years old, fairly old. But just looking at it in here now, the guy, Mike Chester, actually made this from scratch. So what he's done is he's ran in 230, and it goes into several modules, one of them being a relay, big ass old school RS relay there, like that no longer works properly. The ride, if I turn the ride on, it just goes round, no sound. Basically, I think the speaker's gone now. The speaker is located up there. We're looking at this, basically, yeah. Some of the kids watching probably won't recognise this. This is a 1980s, yeah, this is made in 91, so it's a 1980s sharp car stereo. This is what he used to get sound. On this tape in here is a classic TD-KD90, which to me is a classic, a classic tape. Back in the day, one of the best tapes ever made. Well, one of the most reliable and most common tapes was a TD-K90. It's TD-K90 with a Hey Diddle Diddle theme song recorded over and over and over and over again. And when it gets to the end, it loops over. It doesn't come out. It just loops over and carries on playing to the side. It's got it's one of these ones with a reverse play, so it'll just carry on playing until you turn it off, like that. It's powering up. There's no sound. There was problems with it before. I think it should literally just. It's so rusty, as you can see. It's so rusty. It's a sharp one, made in Korea. I've got all the wiring diagram on the back as well still, which is great. Shows you where the speakers and things are. It's all gunky. There's a lot of oil and grease and crap in here. What I'm attempting to do is, I'm attempting to find the 230 going in, take the 230 off, find where the motor 230 is, which I can see on here. It actually wrote it on the actual board. If you can see, look, mains going in, motor mains coming out, so it loops around, goes to the timer. Basically all this here is a combination of transformers, little circuit board there, a couple of capacitors on, regulating the voltage, going hopefully to this car stereo, and a module that you can change the timer. It's all seized up. It's absolutely knackered. So the ride just goes on. I've actually wired it temporarily up to a switch, the start button, going straight to the coin switch, which basically just turns the ride on, but it doesn't go off until you turn the power off. The theme song works. It did work. Say it did work. It's not working no more. But I think it literally just is the stereo that's playing up, or the speaker. So I want to fix that as well. But I thought I'd first of all show you a sort of introductory look at it. What I'm looking at doing is, obviously, I'm going to get in here first. I'll show you what we're doing. I'm going to get in here first, and we're going to find the 230. Obviously, it's a blue wire. What I'm going to do is first, I'm just going to snip the tyre wraps. We're going to re-tyre wraps up later. It's not a problem. Just obviously get it off. Okay, it's very rusty. When I've done all this, the ride itself works fine. The actual motor and everything works fine. It's all good. What I'll obviously do is, when I've sorted it, is we will. I'm thinking what we're going to do is, I'm going to take the 230 off going in, and the motor wire off, and then take this whole unit out. I think that's the best way of doing it. And then put the whole unit back in when we've got the timer out to install. So looking at this, so that's fine. So can you see okay there? Yeah. So I'm undoing the 230. There's also another 230 going off there, daisy chain off there to a 12 volt power supply, which looks like it works okay. That must be powering. Yeah, that's this, because this is 12 volts. So we know we're going to chase the power to this, make sure we still power. My end result is I want to be able to put a timer in that basically this goes on the motor as well, on the motor output. So when the timer kicks in, it kicks the AC to the motor and to this, which powers this, which plays the song. And then when it's all over, we'll cut the timer, the new timer I put in, we'll cut the 230 to the transformer that powers this. So the sound will go off and the motor will go off, and that'll be a successful ride. And that's basically how we're going to do it. We could do it a totally different way. We could put a Staymar timer in there, we could get it reprogrammed, etc, etc, etc. I'm into finding different ways rather than obviously spend money, especially at the moment, obviously with it being a crazy time. So we're taking off that. That's the live and neutral to this 230 to 12 volt transformer. So it's stepping it down to a 12 volt transformer. Obviously that is still coming out as AC, so it's still being changed somewhere to DC. Black and orange seem to be their 12 volt. Oh no, it must be a DC transformer then. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks like it's a 24. It looks like it's a kicking out 24 volt DC. Sorry, 12 volt DC. That's fine. So we found the main earth here. Look, the main earth and the main power going to the thing. So let's get this off if we can. Try and go as fast as we can. That's our mains going in. Let's see here. You see that okay? Yeah. And this is the motor. Get that off there. Again, all these chop blocks will be replaced. I'm not using the chop blocks because I've got a brand new terminal block to use. Big long 20 wide terminal block, because these will be knackered. If the chassis is rusty and everything else is rusty, these will be rusty as well. And if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. When it's all, well, say properly as I like to do it, but at least when obviously it's all done, it's going to be sorted. This one's been a pain. Let's just snap it out. That's it. So here's the motor. So it says, and looking at it going down, it does seem to go straight down, round the chassis, across, down to the motor. The motor's there. So we've got the motor, which is what we need. Where is it? We've got the motor, we've got the live, and so we've got the motor, live and neutral. So the power to the motor we've got there, the power going in we've got there. While they're both together now, the motor will go straight away, because obviously they're both 230, 240. We're not going to do that. We are going to attempt to remove with this switch as well. So I'll take the switch off there. That's the switch that we've been using to work the ride temporarily. We're going to take everything we can find. It's all on this board, so it's good. So we can get a better look at the board when we get it off. We're going to attempt to unscrew this, if it will unscrew. Ah, it will. It's on a wing nut. Perfect. So I can undo the wing nut. Surprisingly, it's not a rust up wing nut. There's a lot of obviously a lot of grease on the cogs down here, so some stuff has stayed quite sort of loose and free. We'll save that wing nut, so we can use that. I think I will probably use this board because obviously it's cut to size. I might repaint it possibly. But yeah, I'm going to take the wing nut off. And the other side's got one too. So I'm interested to try and get that off, isn't it? Right, okay, so got that there. Just need to get this other one off. Got to get my hand under there. It's going to be interesting. I don't want to get grease and crap on me. That's the trick. Just get this in here. if I get my hand on. Got it. Found the wing nut, and again, yeah, it's quite loose. Pretty lucky there. Could have been seized up. Could have been no good for anybody. I've got no grease on these yet. Right. Let's take this out and let's actually look at 1991 ride technology when you're not using a reputable company for a timer. Look at this. Oh, I forgot, we need to do one more incision before we take that off. We've got the speaker wire still connected, so just quickly find the speaker wire. He comes round and he terminates there, and he's very, very grotty. What we'll do is, we know the speaker wire is purple, we'll cut it here, so we know then that it's a speaker wire, so when we're looking at this wiring we know what was what. Pop the speaker wire back in there. And now we're going to remove this whole control board man-made timer thing. The other one, oh, there's one still dangling. What's that? Delay switch. That's still wired up. So there's a delay switch on there. What we're going to do is, one magical thing I love about this ride, there's two versions of this Hey Diddle Cat the Fiddle. This one is the earlier one, and it's all on a 4-chain system. The weight of the child when the ride is finished brings the ride, doesn't matter where it stops, back down to the bottom, where it wouldn't normally do that. It would normally just keep going. Well, it'd stop. If it was on the other system, it would literally stop wherever it stops, and that would be it, because of the force of gravity, basically. But with this one, with it being on a 4-chain system, the weight of the child will bring the ride back to the bottom, and it's all good. Without the need for a delay switch or a timer with the function that obviously it counts the cycles of ride and then stops. So that's pretty cool. So we'll just snip that wire off, which is the delay switch. And now we can remove the timer and take the entire thing out and see what we're playing with. Still got one more thing keeping it up. It's a tie wrap. One little tie wrap that's holding, looks like the 12 volts that's going to the coin lamp, I think. Right. Right then guys, so here it is. So this is it. In 1991, this ride by what was MKC Designs, which then in 1991, after the mini wheel, MKC Designs then became Leisure Tech Limited, just down the road from where I lived, and made them in a unit somewhere. This is the tech. So it was keeping costs down, basically. That's what it was doing. This is the tech that it was using. So we've got, let's see if we can trace it. Don't know what that is there. I don't know what this is here either. That's 24. So figured it out. This is a basically it's a homemade well, not homemade rectifier, made by Velman. This is a rectifier, so this is rectifying the AC to DC. So DC's coming out there. We've got 12 volt DC coming out there. I think it's 12 volt. Yeah, because we've got 12 volt AC coming to there, 12 volt DC coming out there. So we know that this is 12 volts. So what we need to do is we need to tidy this up for a start. Forget the lamp. We don't need a lamp. We need the coin switch still. What shall we use for the coin switch? Let's stick to the coin switch ones, which are these ones here. Let's follow these through. As you can see here, look, originally the coin switch was these coloured wires, so we'll stick to that. We'll undo the coin switch, which is the button I'd put on the start button. Obviously we're going to wire this to a mechanical mech. I have a mechanical mech in there, an S10. So let's take these out of here first. Let's get these out of the way. God, I've done a bit of a bodge on there just to get it working. Right, so they're the coin wires. Let's take them off. We'll reuse these when we get the timer on. Meanwhile then, so we definitely need this still because we want 12 volt to get to this. Now, does this work on 12 volt DC? It must do. It just says 12 volts. On the top of my head, I can't remember if it works on 12 volts AC or 12 volts DC. See if it slides out. Let's have a look at underneath it. I'm sure it's DC. I'm sure it's. What the hell's that? Oh, that's for the aerial. Trying to get some radio going on in there as well. Right, okay. I'm hoping this does still work. I've got a speaker to try this, so I want to try it in a minute. We'll get it all wired up. But the main thing is, I want to get it working. So. Why is it? So what's this then? So we know we've definitely got. It's definitely got to be DC. What is this over here? Why is that going to that? What is that? Bit of card there. So guys, it's quite gunky. Can you see everything okay? It's quite gunky. So this must be the timer. This is the timer bit. Let's then take it to the relay. So these two must be working hand in hand to provide the yeah, this is an AC relay. So the 12 volts going to the yes, it's relaying the AC. It's 12 volts. I get it. So what is that little fella? It's a noise reducer. Now, what is it? That's 12 volts. Something or other. Where does that go to? Purple. I have no idea what that is. All I know is we want this working, stereo working 24/7 when we're all wired up. It's a 5 amp fuse. Stereo's working fine anyway. That's the speaker for it. Okay. What are the other ones of the speakers? What we got there? Blue and grey. Okay, so yeah, DC. It is DC power supply. It says on there. Let's give that a bit of a clean. If it doesn't work, I might try going off a different speaker. I've got the full wiring diagram here off this, so as long as we get some sound out, it doesn't matter which speaker it is, as long as it works. That's the plan. So, right, we need AC still going to this. So that's obviously powering our 12 volts. This, then I'm going to hotwire straight to that, eliminating all this other crap. Because this is obviously. Yeah, we need this crap taken out, don't we? So, what we'll do, guys, is we do this board. Take this off. So after this timer will be no more. Got a brand new timer in there. So Yeah, AC's going into that. 12 volts going up to that, yeah, I get it. Right, okay, so this is obviously all knackered. I'm going to take this relay off, that's knackered. We're not going to mess around with this tech, so we're going to take it out systematically. Alright, so we don't need AC going to that, so we can chop that there. That's been removed. The DC going back out of that. That can be taken out of there. So that gets rid of that. This then is relaying back to there. 12. And what's going out of here? Where is that going to? Oh, that's going to the mains. That's powering that. That's kicking out 12 as well. A separate 12. Why would you have a separate 12? Don't know why I'd have a separate 12. We basically need, what's that going to? That's going to there. That's powered by that, the grey. So that is being powered, that's right, green and grey. They're on there as well. Right, okay. We can wire them straight up to this DC. Because that's 12 volt DC. So we want this. So we want the 12 volt DC for our stereo, which is these two, black and red. It's always black and red with stereos. So you know your black is your neutral and your red is your live. So that's the stereo there, which we've found, which is right. So I'm not sure about all these boxes. This could just be like a sound neutralizer for like distortion and things. I'm not sure. Let's take these off here a minute, out of the way. We need that wiring up. Why is that got orange on? Purple, 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 purple. Oh, that's being powered off that. So we can just snip that off. So we're not taking any 12 off there. That's working off that. That's going off for the. That will reduce the 12 to 5. That's powering the credit board. The credit board, which is over here. I'll show you that in a second. That's working on 5. So that's it now. So we've eliminated. So we've just got now. This is the power for the stereo, which is working. Don't know what that is in there. I think it's just like a voltage regulator, or like a protection thing. 2 fuses, 2 5-amp fuses on the live as well. That's fine. Just want to make sure that's, because we definitely make sure this is not changing the voltage to AC and DC. I don't want to blow the stereo. That's not my intention. Let's clean this with a clean. God, it's so gunky, it's unreal. So let's have a quick look, guys. Let's just make sure that we're not changing the voltage in this black box to anything sinister. Don't think we are. It came off that, didn't it? That could be some sort of rectifier. Ah, AC. AC comes off that. No. Where did that come off, the green and the yellow? Yeah. That's an AC to DC converter. So, we need to go past this. We need to be here. Because we've got 12 volts DC coming out of this. So, that's right then. We need to bypass that. Take that out. this is our supply to our stereo. Speaker's already wired up, that's great. We're going to run. Right, is it time to get rid of this now? I think it is, isn't it? And this transformer. Even though it works, it's very rusty. Wouldn't use it on anything else. Pretty unsafe. We're keeping this bit here because this is our 12 volts for our thing. Everything else can go. So let's get rid of everything else. Right, okay, so this can go. We want rid of this now. All this tech is just old, broke, nasty, and just, yeah, we don't need it. We're going to take this out, doing all this in real time. Can you still see everything okay? Yeah, you can. So get rid of this. Let's relay sort of a cradle, I think, for a relay. I think it's now time to get rid of all this crap as well, isn't it? Don't want to get rid of that very easy. That's going to have to be took out. Okay, so we know now. We just need to make sure that we don't touch this. So let's just quickly clip this. I'm still keeping this, which is the junction box for that credit board, although I think the credit board's knackered, so actually, second thoughts I'm not. So we'll get rid of that now as well, so that gunk's going. Got that separate there. This all needs to go. Let's cut this off there. Put that there. So once we know we're safe, we can just snip, snip, snip and get rid of stuff, because we know that our 12 volts there. We will replace all this chop block with a brand new one. It's a nice tech in 91, but it's no good now. We need a timer. We've got a timer that works, and that's literally all we need. We're going to be using a cheap little Chinese timer, but the thing is, there's no sound on the timer, but we're going to use the original timer, the original sound here, that will play the theme song, which is what we want. So now, best way to get rid of this crap. Get rid of them bolts there. Get rid of this as well if I can. No. Alright, get rid of that. Bear with me 1 second, I'll try and get these. Are they flathead? Yeah, they're flathead, I think. Anything left to get onto? Probably not. Oh, they're not the nails. He's nailed it on. Nailed the terminal block on. With a hammer and nails. That's what we've got. Right, gone. Let's just get them out of there. Tweezers. Beautiful. Let's start fresh then, guys. Clean this down. Again, this is not going to start. This ride's my little girl, so it's not going anywhere. So we don't need to do anything spectacular with it. As long as it's working, I'm quite happy. So let's get rid of this really, don't we? Don't know what we're thinking about. Just slip this off here. There's enough room there for the timer to go. I'll probably tie wrap it on, to be fair, rather than try bolting it on. Will these come off nice and easy? Let's have a look. They should actually. Let's see if we can get this big ass chunky transformer off. If we don't want him. I've actually got a bracket on the new timer, so it'll actually screw into the board quite nice, to be fair. So what we're going to do is get rid of that. You still see this okay? Let's just check, make sure you're still seeing it. I think you are. Get rid of that. around a second, I don't damage the stereo. Flathead. So we'll grab these nuts. Get rid of that. And then we'll quickly go over in a minute what we've got left, which is just enough stuff we need to make this ride work properly without the use for all this old sort of, not say bodge job, but it's basically the way he got around saving on. Obviously, he also saved a lot of money by doing his rides like this, I suppose, because you're just buying components direct from suppliers and then put them all together. And if you know a little bit about wiring, happy days. If you don't know anything about wiring, then obviously, like Jolly Roger and Mitchell's and things did, the timers made by Staymar, or different electronic companies like Integrated Technologies and stuff that knew what they was doing. Where things like OMC Electronics, obviously that was their thing, so they had no problem putting the tech together, because obviously that's what they did. I think that's what they did anyway, that sort of thing. So they obviously made their own ride, i.e. the Postman pattern stuff, and they had no problems putting their own technology in, because it was all sort of, even though it was a big board, it all worked quite well. So I think we might just leave that on there as a memorabilia. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll leave it on there, I think. So we know now that we have got everything we need now on this board left over to power up the ride and get sound out of it as well. So let's have a look. Just be 1 second. So I think we're going to use a new terminal block. We're going to do it here, are we? Yeah, I think we are. Timer. No, we might have to do it here actually, because I want the timer set there, and the timer's quite big. So we're going to secure this with the self-tapping screws. It should be long enough, I think. No, well, might have also screwed into something other than a hole. It would have worked. I'll screw it straight into that hole. What an idiot. Let's try again. So it won't be there, don't we? Got self-tapping screws, get straight into it. We'll do 4 so it's nicely, evenly suspended. We'll do one there. Like that. Still recording, aren't we? Let's check it. Yeah. There like that. Right, so we know now we're going to have AC come in to the end one. Well, no AC was coming to there, went it before. Well, there's plenty of wiring on. So we're AC into there, so we'll have that as the earth there. That's the earth. So we know AC wants to come out of there for the... Hold on, we're doing the timer, aren't we? Let's get the timer out. See what we're doing. So this timer is going to sit on there like that. So it's a bit old and battered, but it works fine. So, in fact, I'll tell you what, I might have to do it that way around actually. Oh, that just fits nice, look. Might go on there. That's perfect. So, that's perfect. We'll do it like that. 1 second. So, I'll put the washers on here. For the time being, we'll do one securing screw just there, just to keep the timers moving around the board. Basically what I'm doing is I'm making a my own 1991 Bosch job really, but no, it's not. It's good because using a good timer, all the tech's in this for the timer part rather than on separate transformers. Say, I suppose in 1991 it was a nice cheap way of making a ride and not having to buy into whatever they was charging for timers and things back then. Just a really weird way to do it with the well, seems weird now with the car stereo, but then again, I suppose back then that's really all you had to use, unless you got, so to say, the technology was advanced enough from what you did with the timers with sound. But again, really early on in the 70s and 80s, all the timers were just melodies, like on the old horse and things, and the RGM stuff. So really, this was, I suppose, yeah, really, this was the only way to get an actual soundtrack on. Bear me a second. Right. So that's secure. So, right. We've got earths on here as well, look. So which is good, which is cool. We'll run that under there. Ugh, don't like how that is, to be fair. I'm going to move this board over. There's room for this board to go somewhere else. So this board, we're pretty sure, looking at it, it's AC going in, DC coming out. It's basically a rectifier. A board rectifier rather than a actual physical rectifier. So we're going to move this little baby over here. You can sit there, that's fine from sit there. In fact, you can go like that, look. You can go there, so he's right out of the way, and it looks a bit more like he's always lived there. Little screw in there. Careful not to damage the board while we're doing this. 38, well now I'll say 38 take, I'd probably say, I wonder if this has been put on a bit more recent than the other stuff, maybe, I'm not sure. Then again, saying that, it could be original. So we've got the orange is plus, I think it's minus, we know that. That is for our, yeah, we're going to run this now into, so we can get it out of the way. We're going to get our, oh, it's clean, this is disgusting. Bring our DC. What I'll do is, guys, I'm going to quickly go off and have my dinner and we'll come back onto it. So this is part one. We'll come back to part two in about half an hour. Okay, cheers, see you soon.